here on GameSpot.com/E3. Delighted to be joined by Abby Thresher. Great surname.
Thank you.
Absolutely love it. Did you play much Quake 3 back in the day?
No, sadly I didn't.
All right, well, you're here showing us the latest Dance Central game. You guys unveiled this just a couple of weeks ago. Explain for the folks at home what makes this one different, and also in the wake of this whole Kinect craziness.
Sure, so this is Dance Central Spotlight. It's a completely digital title. It's sort of like a spiritual successor to our last Dance Central game. This game focuses on customization. It ships with a core soundtrack of 10 songs, and then a music store full of options for the player to customize their game experience. Another big difference is this time around, each song in the game comes not with 3 or 4 routines, but with 8. So you can work your way up from beginner to pro if that's the way you like to play, or you can focus on fitness or try lots of other different stylistic routines.
So that initial 10 games, is that a free download, as it were, and then the library is what's open for you if you want more songs?
So we haven't talked pricing yet. We'll have more information about that later, but the game will be affordable, and yeah, the song library, the in-game music store will be chock full of stuff. Another cool thing is that if you previously owned any of our titles and you had bought DLC for them, your DLC will be available to you free of charge in this game, and each of those songs will also have 4 brand new routines included. Yeah.
Sounds like a lot of work. It's a big back catalogue of DLC.
It is indeed. It is indeed.
What about, say, DLC is carrying over? What about songs, tracks, dances that people had on their previous versions of Dance Central, like just the boxed versions?
So we haven't, we don't have the capability to do the disc songs at this time, so we're just focusing on the DLC back catalog.
Are you guys going to sell them as individual songs, you think, or are you going to do it as packs? I know for a lot of the rhythm games, for instance, that was a lot of the time that was the way to do it, sell them in groups of 3 or 4.
Yeah, I think we're still working all that out, but the big thing is we've increased our production pipeline significantly so that we'll be able to start delivering content while songs are still charting. So we can deliver routines and dances much faster than ever before and just kind of give people new stuff to dance to all the time.
I guess that was probably a big problem before when you were relying on retail distribution, is that maybe you were 2 weeks away from the latest craze.
Yeah, it was harder in the past. You know, it was a process that was pretty labor intensive and time intensive, and now we'll have more information this summer, but it's kind of lightning fast. It's pretty cool.
What was the mentality behind releasing it like this, Ali? Did you guys see a lot of people who are sort of really invested in Dance Central buying quite a lot of stuff digitally?
Yeah, so we sort of have just been paying attention to the way the market's been going, and digital downloads are a huge thing, especially with the Xbox One. We're seeing more and more consumers looking to just download their titles fully. We also paid a lot of attention to the way that people were playing Dance Central, and there was a lot of requests for customization, for options for people who kind of like to play around the easier standard difficulties. And then for the hardcore, there were people who were like, okay, I can do this, now what? What's next? So this game is all about serving basically every facet of the Dance Central market.
Obviously, Microsoft a couple of weeks ago announced that they were going to take Kinect out of the box. I was talking to John Drake about it on one of our shows a couple of weeks ago. Took you guys a little bit by surprise, I guess. How do you think, does that change the way in which you sort of tackle what dances you put into this game? Because you're going to have a smaller market than you would have, let's say.
I don't think it necessarily changes the way, I mean, we're still Kinect developers, so we're still looking to kind of focus on bringing genre-defining experiences and really robust gameplay for the Kinect camera and take advantage of everything that the new camera has to offer us.
Dance Central Spotlight, how many players can you have on screen at any one time?
So you can have up to 2 people at a time. It's, you know, like I said, it's kind of a spiritual successor. It's a little bit stripped down, but it's pretty awesome. You can drop in and drop out with each other. You can also play fitness mode together. You can see Jessa is choosing her routines here, so there's lots of options. But yeah, it's a hell of a good time.
Are those the difficulty modes and then the sort of fitness regime stuff too?
Yep, yeah, so fitness mode will have more info later this summer, but basically you kind of pick the routines that you like to play. Like if you're a crazy person and you like to just play the most difficult routines, put those in, put in the amount of time, and the game kind of generates a playlist for you so that you can just dance your little heart out.
Excellent. At Ubisoft's press conference yesterday, or the day before yesterday, they released their latest version of Just Dance, which I guess is your kind of main rival in this little space. They've decided to sort of pull away from the reliance on Kinect, as it were. They've got the app with the phone. Do you think that is an effective way to capture dance, or do you think like Kinect sort of is a much more realistic way or a much more engaging way of dancing in front of your television?
So we focus on Connect because our approach is always kind of on accuracy, and Connect provides us a lot of opportunity to track your full body. But hey, anything that gets people dancing and moving and dancing outside of their living rooms is awesome.
A very political answer. I like it. Very good, Ali. All right, I'm gonna put this bad boy down. Do you guys have you talked at all about pricing in relation to individual dances? What were they before when you had your store? Was it 99 cents or something or?
That's a question for someone who wears a blazer and does business.
Okay, if Nick Chester's in the back, we'll pull him over here. Do you know how many songs you're going to launch with as well?
Nick's yelling at me $2.
$2? $2?
$1.99.
All right, $1.99, not even $2.
I'm in sweatpants. I make the game. I don't know.
Do you have any idea how many, did you say 10 songs, 10 dances you're going to start with?
Yep, 10 songs with 8 routines each, so 80 dances to start with.
Okay, and do you have any idea, have you told anyone what are we listening to now? Because there's quite a lot of ambient noise happening here.
So right now, if you can hear it, we've got Happy by Pharrell Williams, and then the other songs we've announced so far are Show Me, Kid Ink and Chris Brown, Talk Dirty to Me, Jason Derulo, Wake Me Up by Avicii, and Counting Stars by One Republic.
Okay, a nice breath, as it were. Oh, here we go. There's some Pharrell. I feel like this is the theme song of E3 2014. It's been in quite a lot of different press trailers and whatnot. So you guys have been shopping this around. Do you think people kind of get the concept of this? Because it is a bit of a departure from what you were doing. Like in many ways it's very similar, but in terms of its packaging it's very different. Do you think people have sort of grabbed onto the concept?
Yeah, so far the cool thing, I mean, this is way more accessible than our previous titles, so we're kind of hoping to hook a lot of brand new dancers. And it's kind of been cool showing it at E3. I mean, we've had people from all walks of life just sort of giggling, laughing hysterically, jumping in, trying out beginner, trying out standard, trying out the fitness stuff. It's awesome.
And the breadth of people who play the Dance Central games, it's one of those games that sort of, it's not, maybe it's not for core gamers, but it is for lots of core gamers if we're getting into reductive categories. But it does reach out into different age groups, young and old. Do you think that those age groups are sort of in tune with digital purchasing, that this is something that they'll be able to tackle pretty easily?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, totally.
What song are we going into now, do you know?
Oh, I don't know. I wasn't watching. Just a song.
What song are we doing?
Wake Me Up by Avicii.
How long have you been dancing today?
Oh, I went to bed dancing. I woke up dancing.
Were you dancing yesterday?
Oh yeah, and the day before.
Does E3 you feel the burn?
Yes.
Can you talk to a microphone and dance at the same time?
No, it's a little tough.
I think you can. I think if we try, can you talk us through the dance?
Through the dance?
Yeah.
Are you gonna dance with me? No, you're gonna chicken out.
I don't think my hands can't do that. I don't think with the microphone. I love how everyone's got its own. I've always liked how you've named every single move.
Oh yes, that is part of my job, is naming all the moves.
What's the best move, Nick? 'Cause clap's pretty easy. Let's be honest.
That's pretty good. A bunch of the choreographers named a bunch of things after me, and one of them is a move where you just sort of bash your hands and shake your head.
And what? That's just named after you? Is that the alley?
It's called the Thrasher.
Oh, even better, even better. All right, made for it.
Yep. So Jessa right now is actually dancing one of the alternate pro routines. So these are kind of for our like Dance Central hardcore folks. So these are stylistically different, and they're also a big difficulty jump from the standard difficulty row that the game ships with. So you can see she's going to get pretty like lyrical, and then she'll go into some housing moves and kind of just go crazy.
Man, I always wish I could. Whenever I see the stage folks, the pros doing this, it's like, because like I'm going to be completely honest, the times I've enjoyed Dance Central the most have been 2 in the morning when I've come in from a pretty late night, and it feels like I'm doing really good. But
that's when your talent is unlocked.
That is.
That's when the talent comes out.
My inhibitions just sort of fall to the floor, and the real dancer inside of me.
It just breaks free and lets you really be the real you.
We talked a little bit about the Just Dance, Dance Central. I'm going to call it a rivalry. Do you think, is that space, the dancing sort of space, because, we can talk about Guitar Hero and obviously Rock Band, like there was a peak and a valley in that, like it's sort of, we reached peak music game there a while ago, and perhaps we'll have another shot at it again soon, but do you feel like there's still a lot of interest in this? Is it growing, or do you feel like you're appealing to the same people now that you have one for a while?
So the cool thing is the market's definitely growing, and being on Xbox One is definitely a new opportunity for us to reach lots of folks. I think dancing kind of taps into something really, really primal for people, like the ability to move to music, to move on beats. I mean, you look at little kids, babies intuitively like bop along when you play the music. So it definitely kind of strikes a chord with people at a different level. So, I think dancing games are kind of here to stay. Any kind of games that get you moving physically are pretty awesome.
Have you had any videos of toddlers using the Kinect? Can it reach them? Can it pick up on the little?
Again, it's surprising. We've had kids in the office, like people's kids kind of wander in and just like it picks them up. And little kids are always way better at this. I asked my friend's daughter who was in the office the other day to teach me how to play this game, and she just totally gave me like 6-year-old side eye and was like, "Allie, seriously, it's so easy. You just push the button, and then you dance." And she was just like, "How do you not get this? You're an adult. What's wrong with you?"
There are a whole generation of kids now that are just growing up dancing in front of the televisions who think it's completely normal.
Oh, totally. And playing with tablets, like, yeah.
Like the kids, you see them they get a newspaper and they're like trying to zoom it, and it's not working.
Like, what is this thing? Physical media? I don't understand.
I guess that's an interesting thing about these games is that like maybe I'm not to call myself a prude or old. Like I'm 28 years old. I've been around a while Kinect has been around, but it is interesting that like there is this whole other market that will always be growing because it's young people growing up that is just used to standing in front of their televisions and playing instruments and dancing and stuff and not giving a care in the world, not having any inhibitions, I guess.
I know, they live in the future. Unlike you and I, they live in the future.
You live in the future. Come on, you're shopping this stuff around all the time. I don't know how much longer we've got before we keep on going. You could just say it to my ear because I'm on the wrong channel.
If you guys are done, you can feel free to check out some Bayonetta.
Oh yeah? Okay. All right. I think we're done here. Ali, thank you so much for coming on and showing us Dance Central Spotlight. Thank you so much for dancing. Did you need someone to like de-sweat her, or
Am I what?
did somebody like douse you down, or?
You got the full.
All right, we'll do that. Stick around here at GameSpot.com/E3. We got Super Smash Bros. Up next up on Samsung stage. But now a look at Bayonetta 2.